Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Nard from the Nard Report, back today with another episode. I have took a break after the Super Bowl, so hey, it's glad to be back. And welcome to episode 61 of the Nard Report. And in today's episode, I'll recap the Super Bowl from the previous weekend, talk about basketball. NBA season is officially here. Not officially here, but this is the real NBA season after All-Star break. So I'm going to talk about All-Star Weekend because All-Star Weekend was a success. You feel me? All right. Talk about the standings, where teams stand and why things going to happen in the second half of the season. Well, first off, if you are new to the YouTube, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to all of my content, all right? And click that bell to make sure y'all get all the notifications on when I go live. And when I post up, I'm planning on building up this YouTube platform for 2026. It's going to be huge, all right? We're almost to 100 subscribers. I just want to say thank y'all for all the love and support y'all have given me here on the YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. And speaking of the social media, don't forget to follow the TikTok and Instagram at _Nard_report. All right, it's in the chat. Let's get into it. Starting off with the Super Bowl. Congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks beat the Patriots 29-13 in a defensive game. Let's talk about it. Shout out to the Seattle Seahawks defense. That right there was the Legion of Boom 2.0. They was on Drake May's throughout the whole game. Drake May was scared. He looked like a scared puppy out there. Seattle's defense was just too much for him. I even said it before the game. I said this Seahawks defense is going to be too much for Drake May and the Patriots. And that's what happened. All right. But shout out to the Seahawks MVP, Kenneth Walker, for winning Super Bowl MVP. Because let's think about it. If it wasn't for Kenneth Walker, the Seahawks wouldn't even score those field goals. You know what I'm saying? Kenneth Walker had a great game. 27 carries, ran for 135 yards, 0 touchdowns. But, hey, it's all good, though. And Sam Darnold didn't even play a great game. I'm glad that Seattle relied on the running game, because if they didn't rely on the running game, they would have lost this game, okay? And that's what the Super Bowl came down to. Which defense or who's going to get the last stop, or which defense is going to play great, and that was the Seattle's defense. For New England, though, what a great season they had. 14-3, won the AFC East for the first time since 2019. Let's be honest. No disrespect to the Patriots, but we got to give them credit when credit is due. The Patriots played a hell of a game in the Super Bowl. Hell of a season. The path to the Super Bowl. Let's be honest. The Patriots had a really easy path to the Super Bowl. They should have never been in there in the first place. Let's go through their path. They beat up on the Chargers, who had a weak offensive line. They beat up on the Texans. Shout out to the Texans defense, but CJ Stroud played god awful that game. And then the Broncos. We all know if Bo Nix did not get hurt, Broncos would have won that game. So, yeah. This was just a crazy NFL season, because who would have predicted the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots to be in the Super Bowl? You know what I'm saying? But let's go back to the game. Drake made 27 for 43 on his completion attempts, threw for 295 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Drake May, this was his first time in the Super Bowl. So I get it, though. He was scared. He had those moments. But, man, both of these quarterbacks had a lot of missed opportunities down the field, big-time throws, which could have been big-time plays. But, whew, man. Drake May, Sam Darnold, both of them did not play a great game. Defensively for New England played well. Oh, shoot. Sorry about that. Defensively for New England played well, because they held the Seahawks to about 4 field goals. Yeah. And here's the funny part about the Super Bowl. I almost fell asleep. Yeah, because that Super Bowl was one of the most boringest Super Bowls I ever watched. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, when I tell you I almost fell asleep, I almost fell asleep. Because throughout the whole 3 quarters, it was just field goal after field goal after field goal after field goal after field goal. You know what I'm saying? Just straight field goals. I was like, when are we going to get a touchdown? They wasn't really excitement until late in the game. The halftime show, shout out to Bad Bunny. He did his thing. But the Super Bowl in general, it just wasn't it. This was just one of those NFL seasons where you just didn't expect to see something. You know what I'm saying? But that's it for the Super Bowl. NFL season is over. The off season is here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to talk about some off season stuff. You know what I'm saying? The draft is coming up. Schedule releases. So stay tuned for that. All right. And once again, congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks for winning Super Bowl 60. All right. Now that football season is over, it's time to talk some basketball. NBA's second half of the regular season kicks off tomorrow night. We are back. That's right. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm here to tell you some of my NBA takes heading into the second half of the regular season. You feel me? Let's get it started. My first hot take is that the Detroit Pistons will come out of the East. This team is young, on the rise. They made it to the playoffs last year, got sent home by the Knicks in round 1. When you look at this young team, Cade Cunningham is a superstar in this league, okay? Jalen Duren, all-star. Congratulations on him being an all-star. Hey, he's playing well. B. Stewart, hey, you're going to need him for the playoffs because if one of those teammates get into a fight, he's there, all right? But listen, Detroit is the best team in the East, all right? Now, somehow, if Jason Tatum comes back for Boston, yeah, that's the biggest threat to the Pistons. Boston. All right. Second take, James Harden and Donovan Mitchell equals scary hours in Cleveland. I love the trade the Cavaliers made for James Harden because they needed more scoring. They needed a point guard that can run the offense through. Not saying Darius Garland was bad, but they needed a guy like James Harden who could put up big-time numbers. All right. And this team could go on a deep playoff run. Do not be surprised if they come out of the East. Just saying. This team can come out of the East. All right. They got 2 big men on the court. You got James Harden running the offensive scheme. The coach over there is amazing. I like where Cleveland is headed. They are heading into the right direction. You feel me? Number 3. OKC, they're still the favorites to come out of the West. Yes, I understand San Antonio's beat them like 3-4 times this season, but they're still the defending champions. They're still the best team in the West. But if you're Oklahoma City, if you run until the San Antonio Spurs, I got the Spurs going to the finals. But yes, I do understand that's the regular season. The playoffs are different, but this Spurs team is just different. And I'll talk about that later on in the show. Number 4, I got the San Antonio Spurs reaching the Western Conference Finals led by Victor Wembanyama. Yes, this Spurs team is dangerous. With Wemby on the court, you better believe they're going to the conference finals. Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, and all those young bloods they got over there, and the coaching too. Oh, yeah. This thing can come out of the West. Number 5. You can call me crazy for this, but I got the Philadelphia 76ers as my dark horse to come out of the Eastern Conference. I love this Tyrese Maxey and VJS come duo, okay? I do feel like they could shock a lot of people heading into the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Because every year there's been a dark horse, okay? So that's my dark horse in the East, the Philadelphia 76ers. If Embiid can stay healthy and play at an all-star level, oh yeah, watch out for the Sixers. Number 6, the Portland Trailblazers will make the playoffs, led by their all-star Denny Avdija, however you say his last name. Because Portland is also a young team that's on the rise. I do think they will make the playoffs and get some experience for that young core. They also got a veteran in Drew Holiday who has been there before. So I love where this Portland team is headed. And Damian Lillard's coming back next season. Ooh, man, if he played this season, this Trailblazers team will be fun to watch. You feel me? Number 7, my dark horse in the West, the Los Angeles Lakers. First full season of Luka Doncic and LeBron James. If JJ Redick could get the coaching together, if DeAndre Ayton could have a good gameplay as a big man, stay consistent, oh yeah. I like the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? I want LeBron to win another ring. I want Luka to get his first ring because ever since he been to the finals with the Dallas Mavericks, he got sent home in the first round, which it was crazy that he got traded from Dallas to LA. But yes, I like where this Lakers team is headed. All right, they are headed into the right direction. LeBron James, even though he's 41 years old, he is still the king. All right. And then last but not least, my Atlanta Hawks will make a second half run and make the playoffs. Now, and I'll tell you this, everyone had us top 3, top 5 in the East with the team we had coming into the season, but due to lack of injuries, defense, and coaching adjustments, we are 10th in the East and in the play-in. So I do feel like once we stay healthy, we can go on a second half run and make the playoffs. And shout out to Jalen Johnson, who was a first-time All-Star. All right. And now let's recap this All-Star weekend. W All-Star weekend. One of the best All-Star weekends we had in a while. You know what I'm saying? Because over the past few years, All-Star weekend was pretty boring. You know what I'm saying? But W All-Star weekend, shout out to the NBA and Adam Silver for coming up with this All-Star game format. You had the USA versus the world format. Best thing they ever done. Best thing they ever done, Chad. I'm telling you. And Victor Wembanyama, shout out to this dude because he said before, I want a competitive All-Star game. He said that. And that's what he got. And I wanted a competitive All-Star game because over the past few years, the players wasn't trying. They was just playing pickup basketball. These All-Star games felt like the NBA Finals. You know what I'm saying? Kawhi Leonard went off. Anthony Edwards went off. Jalen Johnson, my Atlanta Hawk, had a great game in All-Star. All-Star weekend was a success. Shout out to Damian Lillard for winning the three-point contest. The skills challenge was a success. But, man, we got to talk about that dunk contest. Please, I am begging the NBA to do this one time. Fix the dunk contest, okay? It hasn't been the same since the 2010s or 2020 because y'all know back in the day, the dunk contest was different when you go back to Dominique Wilkins, Michael Jordan, and all those other young cats out there. They were going at it. But from 2021 through 2025, there's been fails, there's been oops, there's been like a meme moment. Like we got dudes throwing balls off the backboard and falling on the court. Like, what's going on? And who are these people that is participating in the All-Star dunk contest? Because we don't even know them. You know what I'm saying? We had rookies participating. Like, if we would have got Mac McClung, okay, that's cool. But these are the players we want to see in the dunk contest. We want to see John Morant. We want to see Anthony Edwards. We want to see Zion Williamson, for crying out loud. Maybe Jalen Johnson or Cooper Flag. Throw him in there. Or Giannis Antetokounmpo. But we want to see NBA players in the dunk contest who has been in the league, who is a great dunker and has the experience. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that's what the NBA needs to fix is the dunk contest. Everything else is fine. You know what I'm saying? Best All-Star weekend I had in a while. You know what I'm saying? So that's it for NBA All-Star weekend. That was a success. You feel me? And shout out to the people that is tuning in right now. Auntie Bad, welcome. We in here. Neff, yes, sir. We in here. The Super Bowl was boring. Very boring. I almost fell asleep through the second quarter. Matter of fact, I almost went to sleep at halftime because I was just watching the game like, when is this going to end? My boy Rare in this bit too. Newbie in here too. What's up, Newbie? Hey, that's my girl. But I appreciate y'all for coming through right now because this about to be a great show. These are some of my people I rock with on TikTok. So, hey, that's family. You know what I'm saying? I'm building a family platform on the TikTok as well too. I love those guys very much. They come and support me every day. So I do appreciate all the love and support they have given me over there on the TikTok. All right. And last but not least, let's talk about these NBA standings. All right. Heading into the second half of the regular season, I'm going to tell you where your team is and what do I think this team is going to do heading into the playoffs. All right. We're going to start off in the Western Conference. We got the Oklahoma City Thunder, number 1 in the West at 42-14. All right. This is still a young team, the defending champions, still the best team in the West. Yes, I understand they're injured right now, SGA, J-Dub, Jalen Williams, and all that, but this is still the best team in the West, okay? This is a dynasty, okay? The Oklahoma City Thunder are a dynasty. You feel me? They're just a dynasty. SGA, one of the best players in the league. Chet Holmgren is an all-star. Jalen Williams is a young all-star. They have young all-stars over there that have the potential. All right. So OKC still my favorite to come out of the West, you know what I'm saying, at 42-14. The biggest threat to Oklahoma City are the San Antonio Spurs. Okay. If you're Oklahoma City, if you run into San Antonio, you're going home. Okay. Because OKC and San Antonio is the potential Western Conference Finals matchup. But if those two meet each other in the conference finals, I got San Antonio. Because, man, they are the threats. And they have beaten them 3 times this season. At number 2, at 38-16, you got the San Antonio Spurs. All right. Like I said, biggest threats to Oklahoma City. Victor Wembanyama, that dude is an alien, averaging almost a double-double a night, averaged 26 points, 12 rebounds a night. That dude is scary at 7'4". Man, this dude is like a tall version of Kevin Durant. And with the young guys they got over there and the coaching, oh yeah, this, if it ain't Oklahoma City, it's San Antonio coming out of the West. At number 3, you got the Denver Nuggets. Even though when Nikola Jokic, without Nikola Jokic throughout the first half of the regular season, Jamal Murray has been playing lights out. And shout out to Jamal Murray for playing like an all-star. And he was an all-star this season because he carried the team while Nikola Jokic was out. All right. So shout out to the Denver Nuggets. I do believe they could come out of the West too. All right, because they got the best player in the league in Nikola Jokic. This guy averages a triple-double every game. You feel me? He averages a triple-double every game. So as long as they got Jokic on the team, Denver's going to be fine. All right. And I do believe that OKC, San Antonio, and Denver is going to make a big second half push. The Houston Rockets, hey, I like where this team is going so far. If Kevin Durant can stay healthy, they can become a scary team in the West. All right. The Lakers, as I mentioned, they are my dark horse to come out of the West. If Luka and LeBron stay healthy and DeAndre Ayton could play consistent with the head coach of J.J. Redick, because I have a lot of confidence in J.J. Redick. All right, I do. I do feel like they can come out the West. And you can call me crazy, because the Lakers got the potential. Okay, I look at the roster; they got talent, but it's gonna come down to JJ Redick and his coaching adjustments to see where they are. I do not want to see the Lakers get sent home in the first round again. Okay, because I'm gonna say this right now: if the Lakers get sent home in the first round again, LeBron James will retire. That's all I got to say. At number 6, you got the Minnesota Timberwolves at 34-22, a team that's been to the Western Conference Finals back-to-back seasons. This team can still come out of the West too. I'm going to say this too. The Minnesota Timberwolves are the third biggest threats to the Oklahoma City Thunder because you've been to the conference finals in back-to-back years. You still got a young team. Anthony Edwards is leading the way. Julius Randle hasn't playing very great this season as an all-star. Rudy Gobert, if Rudy Gobert can average almost 8 points a game in the playoffs, oh yeah, this is a scary team. At number 7, you got the Phoenix Suns at 32-23. Who would have thought the Phoenix Suns would be this good this season? Nobody. When I mean nobody. Hey, it's starting to look like trading KD for Dillon Brooks was a big deal. But Jalen Green, we haven't seen much of him this season. One game he played for the Suns, he had 29 points, but in the win. So, this Suns team, I like where they're headed in the right direction. I do believe they can make a second half push, all right, to the playoffs. And I believe this team will make the playoffs. All right. Do not be surprised if this team comes out the first round. At number 8, you got the Golden State Warriors at 29-26. What happened to the Warriors? They're not the same team no more. I'm gonna tell you this too. The Golden State Warriors need to get younger. Okay. That is a veteran team over there who has a lot of experience. All the players over there has experience for the Warriors. So Golden State needs to get younger. All right. And Steph Curry is out. So I get it, though. I don't think the Warriors will make the playoffs this year. Do I think they can make a second half push? Yeah, they can, but they need Steph Curry back. At number 9, you got the Portland Trailblazers. I got this team making the playoffs, led by Denny Avdija, their all-star. Oh, yeah. He's been cooking this season. He has. And watch out. If you are one of these teams in the play-in tournament, I will be scared of the Portland Trailblazers because this young team could hoop. They could hoop. And they got the veteran and Drew Holiday, who has the most experience on the team. So, and Damian Lillard sitting on the sideline coaching these young guys. I love where Portland is headed. At number 10, you got the Clippers at 26-28. They're not going to do much. All right. At 11, you got the Grizzlies. After trading Jaren Jackson Jr., I thought Memphis was going to trade Ja Morant too, but Ja Morant's still on the team. Will he play that many games? No. At number 12, you got the Dallas Mavericks. If you didn't know, Kyrie Irving will be out for the remainder of the season. So as he's still recovering from that ACL injury he torn back in March of last year. So, but Cooper Flag, I got this dude winning Rookie of the Year. Mark my words. Cooper Flag will win Rookie of the Year. Excuse me. Number 13, you got the Jazz. 14, you got the Pelicans. And then you got the Kings at number 15. Those teams are tanking, so there's not much to talk about. And, excuse me. But, but those teams have a bright future ahead of them. Now we go to the East. At number 1 at 40-13, you got them Detroit Pistons. Best team in the East, led by a all-star, superstar caliber player in Cade Cunningham. Watch out for the Pistons. If you are a Pistons fan, you do not want to run into the Boston Celtics. If you play the Knicks or the Cavs, I do believe you will beat them. But if you run into Boston, it's a problem. All right. So as long as the Pistons do not run into the Boston Celtics in the playoffs, I got this team coming out of the East. Because, man, this team is young. talented, and well coached. Excuse me. The Detroit Pistons are like the Oklahoma City Thunder in the Eastern Conference. At number 2, you got the Boston Celtics at 35-19. It's crazy because everyone thought the Boston Celtics were going to take a step back this year due to Jason Tatum being out. But Jaylen Brown has been leading the way for the Boston Celtics. He has been playing phenomenal this season. And I love where this team is headed in the right. This team is headed in the right direction after All-Star break because I'm hearing that Jason Tatum is practicing. Yes, he is practicing. And he could come back sometime this season. So if Jason Tatum is back on the court for the Boston Celtics, hey, it's about to be scary in Boston. All right. At number 3, you got the New York Knicks at 35-20. This team is just too inconsistent. I do feel like this team could come out of the East because they did go to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. But this team is just way too inconsistent for me. Karl-Anthony Towns is too inconsistent. Brunson, MVP caliber player. He is a star. But I think inconsistency is going to hit them hard. At number 4, you got the Cleveland Cavaliers at 34-21. I said this earlier in the show. James Harden, Donovan Mitchell equals scary hours in Cleveland. Yes, they do. Because with James Harden at the point guard position, a guy that you can run the offense through, one of the greatest scorers in the game of basketball, he can put up big numbers. He can. He's going to put up good assist numbers, good scores, rebounds. Hey, he's going to help out Donovan Mitchell. It takes the pressure off of Donovan Mitchell because when he had Garland, all the pressure was on Donovan Mitchell. Now that you pair Donovan Mitchell with an all-star caliber player in James Harden, I like where this team is headed, okay? They can make some noise. This is a team you do not want to play in the playoffs. And this is a team I will watch out for in the second half of the regular season. At number 5, you got the Toronto Raptors at 32-23. Who would have thought the Raptors would be this good? Did y'all thought Toronto would be this good? If you thought, let me know in the comments, okay? Let me know in the chat if you thought Toronto would be this good. Number 5 in the East, 32-23. Brandon Ingram, who was an all-star this year. Shout out to Brandon Ingram. I said this too since he was on the Pelicans. He is an all-star caliber player. They have a young team over there. I feel like this team is also on the rise too. Scotty Barnes, who I believe is an all-star caliber player. I like where this team is headed. All right, and I do believe they could head into the right direction as the second half of the regular season is upon us. Brandon been balling this year. Yes, he has. Playing like an all-star. Hey, dating Glorilla was worth it. Ever since he started dating Glow, he's been a different man. At number 6, you got the 76ers at 30-24. I said this is my dark horse coming out of the Eastern Conference. Yes, if Embiid can stay healthy, Tyrese Maxey and VJS come, that's a dangerous guard duo over there in Philly. But I do feel like Embiid needs to stay healthy because he is their important player to the Philadelphia 76ers playoff push. And they're going to need him in the playoffs because you can go up against guys like Jarrett Allen, Evan Mobley, Cat, Vucevic, Stewart. So the Sixers going to need Embiid in the playoffs if they want to go on a deep playoff run. And I do believe they can go on a deep playoff run because I want to see the Sixers compete for a championship. Okay, ever since that 2021 Eastern Conference semifinals loss against the Atlanta Hawks, I said I want to see this team compete for a championship. And I feel like the coaching and Doc Rivers set them back for the past couple of years. At number 7, you got the Orlando Magic at 28-25. Everyone thought this team was going to be top 5 in the East. But injuries set him back. Paolo Banchero, I like him. young all-star. This is also a young team too that's on the rise. I feel like if this team was healthier earlier in the year, I feel like they will be the 3 seed because Orlando got the talent. At number 8, you got the Miami Heat. This team is so, 1 week they're the 6th seed, the next week they're in the play-in. But one thing about the Miami Heat, they're going to end up in the play-in and finish around 7 through 10, right? If they finish 7 or 8, this was going to happen. They're going to lose the first game, then win the second game to get the AC. But 9 and 10, they're going to find a way to make the playoffs. That's just Miami Heat basketball. Make the play-in every year, make the playoffs, get sent them in the first round. But to me, it feels like Miami don't even deserve to be in the playoffs. But they're going to find a way to make the playoffs, okay? Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, good duo over there in Miami. This team is heading to the right direction as they try to get out of the play-in. At number 9, you got the Charlotte Hornets. Man, this team, if you are one of these teams in the play-in, having to go to the playoffs, and if you run into the Charlotte Hornets, I will be terrified. This young team is scary. This young team is scary. 1 second, guys. There we go. Back to what I was saying. The Charlotte Hornets are a scary team. They're going to be a scary team to play in. If LaMelo Ball stays healthy, Concanupo in a race for Rookie of the Year, man, this Charlotte Hornets team could ball, okay? They could hoop. As a Hawks fan, if I have to go up against this team in the play-in, I will be terrified. I do believe we can beat them, but, man, them boys can hoop. Whoever the coach is over there, they're doing a great job. I did not expect the Charlotte Hornets to be where they are right now, but heading into the second half of the regular season, I do feel like this team can make a deep playoff push. At number 10, you got my Atlanta Hawks at 26-30. I do feel like we are going to make a second half run. This is now the post-trade era, led by Jalen Johnson, first-time All-Star. Listen, I do believe he's going to take this team to the next level. I do feel like we're going to make a big playoff push this year because if you think about it, we were in the same situation last year and almost made the playoffs. If Jalen Johnson did not get hurt, Atlanta would have easily made the playoffs. It probably finished as the 6th seed. So as long as Jalen Johnson stay healthy, all of our guys stay healthy, Dyson Daniels plays well, Zachary Ricochet plays well, CJ McCollum and all of our new guys, and Quinn Snyder coaching as well, oh yeah. I do feel like we're going to turn it around. At number 11, we got the Bulls. They're in the rebuild mode. At number 12, you got the Bucks. No Giannis. So this team could still make a playoff push. I do believe this team could still make a playoff push when Giannis comes back. Number 13, you got the Nets. 14, you got the Pacers. No Halliburton. So I expect them to have the season that they're having. And then at 15, you got the Wizards, who has a bright future ahead of them. Next season, this team's going to be dangerous. Trae Young and Anthony Davis could become one of the best duos in the Eastern Conference if they're healthy. Mark my words. All right. And that's it. That concludes today's show of the Nard Report. This was a great show. I appreciate everybody that joined. Thank y'all for all the love and support y'all have given me here on the YouTube. If you are new to the YouTube, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to all of my content. Click that bell to make sure y'all get all the notifications on when I go live and when I post stuff. All right. And don't forget to follow the TikTok and the Instagram at _Nard_report right here. That concludes today's show. I will see y'all on my next episode. Episode 61 is a wrap. Have a good rest of your day. Nard out.